So Belize is basically where Yellow Dog started. It's really one of the core programs for Yellow Dog. We send a lot of travelers throughout the year down here, whether they're hardcore anglers, new anglers. It really works for a lot of people, and Yellow Dog's just history and connection to Belize really couldn't be any bigger. This trip to Belize, we came down and saw 3 of our longest standing partners. It's important for us to actually come see the places that we're sending our travelers. We've got long relationships, and getting down here when they're not so busy and seeing the guides, meeting the people, if there's any changes to management or facilities, we want to know those things and get to see those new faces and see those new things. This particular trip, focusing on some of our longest standing partners, we really saw kind of from the middle of Belize north, which a lot of times is lumped into the Northern Belize fishery. And that fishery is it's very diverse. It's second to none in the world for offering opportunities at resident tarpon, migratory tarpon, bonefish, permit, snook, jacks, some other things. And this trip, that's kind of where we wanted to focus. Coming down here in the summertime, it's good to have options, and the Northern Belize fishery, really gives you that. It's not hyper focused on one thing or another. It's really a mix of everything, and it can all be good. We started our trip at the Belize River Lodge, which is the oldest fishing lodge in Belize. They're located up the old Belize River, and you get access to this whole river system with tarpon and snook. It may not be the classic flat sight fishing type of situations, but if you have adverse weather, it's raining, it's really windy, that plan B can really save your trip. And it's a great way to focus your trip, but it's also a great way to save a trip if you're running into the weather you don't necessarily want on vacation. After getting there, you're really 100 feet from the boats in the morning. You get out, and whether you're going up the river or down out to the flats, within 20 minutes theoretically you could be fishing, and for all the species. Tarpon is probably their staple, but being set where they are is really cool that you don't have to get on another long transfer or anything like that. You're really there, and if you were in a situation where you could arrive earlier, you could even fish on arrival, which is pretty unique to any of our lodge partners. The setting of the lodge is really, the classic sporting lodge. There's, lots of dark mahogany and teak. Everything is very well appointed. Nothing's gone, overlooked. You can tell that they've been in the business of catering to anglers for, more than half a century, and really every little detail has been taken care of.
Their fishery is very diverse, from a river system with tarpon, and they also target the flats too. So it offers something unique that a lot of other places don't offer.
One of the really cool things about the Belize River Lodge is, in addition to the historic classic lodge up the Belize River, they've got the Long Key Outpost, which is out on the edge, close to the reef. Definitely set in a little bit more classic flats fishery area. But it's basically a private house. So, you and some buddies or your family can go out there, and you are right on the reef edge. There's bonefish right in front of it. There's probably permit there at times. And then you're really close to some of the most famous tarpon flats in the country. Miami Beach, Long Key Channel, Montego Bay. You're really in a prime area, and by being out there, you've kind of got the pole position. So you're there before some other lodges may run over an hour to get to.
This place offers a vast variety of species that you can learn and hone your skills and learn about fish behavior, what a permit or tarpon are doing. And when you go to other places, those same skills apply.
Pescador Lodge. It's up on Ambergris Key, close to the town of San Pedro. Getting there, again, you're into Belize City, just like everywhere else that you got to get to in Belize. You start there, short little flight. It's included in the package. Get you up to San Pedro, where the lodge picks you up. El Pescador has, great bar, great food, 3 pools. It's really kind of the quintessential fishing lodge and family destination.
I think the guides have a unique ability here because the fishery here is very diverse, where you have the tarpon in the channels, or you have the park area with tarpon, to open ocean tarpon, the permit from the bay side, to permit on the flats fishing at the reefs. They're very well adapted to the weather. Weather dictates a lot of things. Even if you want to target a certain species, well, you might not be able to target today out of the ocean flats, but you can certainly target in the back. And they know this place like the back of their hand. They're born and raised here, and any given day, any given weather, they have an option for you.
With El Pescador, it really is, it's the all-inclusive package. They, basically have, everything covered. There's loaner rods, all your meals, all your, local drinks, your transfers, all of that is built into it. And it's one of the few places, throughout the Caribbean that you could, theoretically show up with nothing. You show up with a suitcase with, so some fishing shirts and some shorts, even those things you could buy here at the lodge shop if you wanted. But they really have everything for you to just show up and go. Having Bryan on this trip has been a lot of fun. He's he's a phenomenal photographer, and he's got kind of that photographer's eye to see different situations. And he's spent as much time in Belize as anybody, and the history he has here, coupled with the yellow dog history and my experiences here, it's been a lot of fun. Sometimes we overthink things, but I think that kind of goes hand in hand with the saltwater flats fisheries, and how do we get it right? These fish aren't easy. There's a lot of things that are out of your control, and finding ways to solve those problems is always a ton of fun with Bryan. Just with his experience here and just his overall attitude towards saltwater fishing, it can be a lot of fun.
Belize is one of the places I come most often. It's probably the most visited destination in the Caribbean that I come to, for the reason of there's always something new to shoot. The lighting here is amazing. Whether it's early morning light, the evening light, overhead light, there's something to shoot and point the camera at. It's almost like you don't really, I mean, you still have to try, but you can point your camera in any direction and it's just an amazing view. And so every time I leave, I'm always like, oh man, I can't wait to get back. And every time I'm editing it, I just relive those moments again, and I'm so blown away by how beautiful this country really is. It's a small country with a big appetite.
Still a believer. Even if we get knocked down, we keep the bones. Now see me from, you got me from a little and I grow. Come on, a winner. Even if we get knocked down, we keep the bones. Now see me from, you got me from a little and I grow. Come on, a winner. Ooh, still a believer.
Typical day at Turneffe Flats, you're right to the boats, and the guides basically look at what the tides are doing, what you want to do, what you want to fish for, what your experience levels are, and make a decision. You go north, you go south, or you go west. Turneffe Flats Lodge is another one of our longest standing partners here at Yellow Dog. Craig and Karen's operation is pretty special, and the Turneffe Atoll where they're located is pretty unique in that it's set away from basically all of the population centers in Belize. You're 40 miles off the coast. You've got a 300 square mile coral atoll, which is basically the largest coral atoll in the Mesoamerican reef, which is the second largest barrier reef in the world. So it's its own ecosystem. They've got great wadable flats for bonefish and permit. They've got channels and lagoons for tarpon. So running with the typical Belize theme of they have a diverse fishery. It's just in a totally different setting that's hard to equate to really anything else, especially here on the Western Hemisphere.
Turneffe has a great home flat that's available where you can walk out your front door before or after fishing with a cup of coffee if you want, or when you get back you can walk out with a beer. Kind of an opportunity to kind of work on some skills if you wanted to, or target tailing fish if you like. It's one of the few places that has fishing right out the front door.
One of the most important things of these trips is getting to see the guides. We talk to the reservation teams and the front desk all the time as we set up these trips, but it's when we get here and get to see the guides and kind of get to see how they work, and yeah, these are all the great flies to have, but maybe try this one or use this knot or this type of leader, or they say, hey, make sure everybody has a sinking line or intermediate line, because this time of year we need to be able to get deep for tarpon. And those are little things that are kind of side notes in a lot of the information you can get, but when we get down and talk to the guides, they can really help us help our travelers to be better prepared, and the better prepared you are, hopefully the better the fishing is.
See that beat a bit but repeat non-stop. Vibe them overflow, you don't know. Just how the thing is going out. Rude boy rocking on the place. Girl them a wind up them waist. Vibe them overflow, you don't know. Just how the thing is going. Yes, we do give thanks when we go out dance. You know we outside free and living up. You know we live it up. Oh yes, we do give thanks when we go out dance. Yeah, we outside free and living up. You know we live it up.
You know, one of the really special things about, you know, Belize, and this is countrywide, and is just their conservation ethos. They have, you know, worked really hard to protect these flats fisheries, protect these flats, and it's an ever-evolving thing, and there's always something to be done. But as far as a lodge that is working hard to protect not only their environment, but the environment, you know, by and large, Craig and Karen's program there at Turneffe Flats Lodge is pretty remarkable. You know, basically nothing leaves. Everything is, you know, composted. They've got a huge solar array, and they're probably pretty close to 80% run on totally renewable energy, which, you know, when you think about a little tiny island 40 miles off the coast of the mainland of Belize, is no small undertaking. They were integral in, you know, creating bonefish, permit, and tarpon as catch and release species here in Belize, which is the only country, you know, here in the Caribbean that has that. They were huge for the gillnet ban, which had just happened, you know, 4 or 5 years ago. And you know, working with Yellow Dog on that one is really cool to see how things are coming back. You know, the permit are bigger. There's more bonefish. It's just a healthier ecosystem, and with them helping spearhead all that, it's really showing. And it's you know, kind of a really good example of what can be done when you know, the effort is put into keeping something that's spectacular.